Hey family, what's up? Back at What the Fizz Nuck, where we chat about whatever kind of topic. Might be current, might be past, might be crazy, but we go chat about it. We might argue about it, we might fuss and fight, but we gonna walk away still in love. So I got Dr. T. I'm Dr. T, and I got Mr. Critical here with me. And
I got to get us official, you all, for a memory.
man,
It's slipping bad.
I'm taking my vitamins, y'all, but hey, I think I got that long COVID, baby.
Yeah,
What's up?
shit been happening for the last 5.5
Since I
years.
got COVID, boy, a sister's brain be like, "What?" I be trying real hard. But what's on your mind today?
Well, I got several things running through my mind. One of them is about sexual encounters. How men has always been able to have multiple women and have sex and not be attached because there is nothing that bonds a man to a woman after sex. Unlike the woman, on the other hand, when she had unprotected sex, she is literally, spiritually, mentally, physiologically bonding with that man. And she
Oh,
can't wash it off.
she can't wash it off.
She
Okay.
can't wash it off.
I mean, women are the receivers. Okay.
The holder,
And
the collector, the pot. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
but my response to that is, so what? Okay, because what I feel like is I just hate the idea that men can do it and women can't. And this ain't on no should women do it or shouldn't women do it. I just don't like being told what I can and cannot do with my body.
Well, that's fair, and I can't criticize any woman that feel that way. But what I can criticize, and you all family, I invite you all to come on across the line, make a comment, make a statement, make an agreement. I prefer you to agree with me, but anyway, at the end of the day, that is a problem. There is a problem, and the problem is going to continue to remain because at the end of the day, a woman just can't wash a man out of her, you know. And not only is it dealing with blood ties, spiritual ties, emotional ties, it's also dealing with scientifically proven DNA ties. And I think that women need to hear this conversation that we're gonna have today, because I'm finna share some information with you all that is mind boggling. And if men knew this, I think men would be more selective on when it comes to who they have sex with, or either they would just literally wrap it up.
Well, what's the scientific what scientifically
Oh,
what
okay.
are
Well,
you
let me
trying to
let,
prove?
let me share some science, some scientifically information with the audience. Do you all know that for every man that a woman sexually have encounters with, unprotected sex mainly, that's the only way that this scientifically trackable and proven method causes a woman to carry on a man's inheritance, genetic characteristic flaws or traits. When they break down the DNA, you know they done broken down the DNA. There's 179 codes in the DNA strand. And in that DNA strand, man has finally reached the point of identifying how and what they each do and contribute with each other. That's amazing technology strides that we have made, you all, in today's society, that they're able to look at a DNA that look like a snake curving up and down, and it's got two little lines going down through the middle. Those are what you call DNA codes, and those codes has been identified, broken down, and deciphered. And now they can look at a code in your DNA strand, and they can tell you what it is and where it come from and what it does. So just knowing that information, now they done broke it down and said that when they look at these codes, when it comes to the sexual memory code in that DNA strand, they're able to decipher and determine if the DNA that's in that one little code, they can tell how many sexual partners. Don't quote me on this. They can't say how many sexual partners you have had, but what they are saying is that they can identify different types of characteristics, traits that's from other donors. So, for example, a woman can get married, have a baby. That baby look like you and that man in most cases. But when they look at the DNA from that baby, they can also decipher that there's other DNA interference with that in that child that comes from another man that that woman slept with. So my point is, the reason why I say women can't do what men do, because literally the woman carry on that sperm of that man in her DNA, in her bloodline, and also in her brain.
Okay.
These are
Well,
scientifically proof,
okay.
not my opinion.
You said it. Okay. You said that. Now, why does it have to be why does it have to be what women can't do because of that? Why can't it be men should not want their DNA spread around so men can't do it just like women can't do it? I don't like that narrative that men can and women can't when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
sex. Why
Mm-hmm.
not say men, you shouldn't want your seeds
Mm-hmm.
all sprinkled all around?
Mm-hmm.
Tend to one woman or wrap it up like you're saying for women to not have multiple partners or to wrap it up. So let's just say men shouldn't have multiple partners because why you want your stuff all out there?
Okay, family, this is finna be a good one. So you all buckle down, get some popcorn, and get your cocktails, cause I'm finna go in. And I wish I had my sound effects, so just pardon me. Bump, bump, bump. That shit is nothing but a feminist, westernized, impressioned dictator type of mentality that women in our community is carrying on today. It's always gotta be the fucking man responsibility. That's a whole nother
No,
topic, you
no,
all.
it got to
That's a
be
whole nother
everybody's
topic.
responsibility.
That's a whole nother topic, you all.
It
But at
should
the
be
end,
everybody's
no,
responsibility.
it shouldn't
I
be. It
don't like
shouldn't be.
I don't like
Okay, hold on, hold on,
men.
hold on. I'm tap out on that one. It should be men's responsibility. And the reason why it should be men responsibility is because goddamn it, if y'all know that a woman is out here with multiple 10, 15, 30 goddamn niggas fucking, right? And you all happen to run across her and she ain't got no kids yet. Imagine you get her pregnant, y'all get married, have a baby. That motherfucker baby is gonna be infused with every goddamn man that that woman
Wow.
has been with. Yes, that child is gonna look like you a little bit, but my message is for the men's. Men's, we got to be very much aware and understanding the genetic code, what we give, what we leave behind when we have sex and bust a nut into a woman. We need to be very much conscious of her past because understand this, not only does she carry on the codes, but she carry on the spiritual realm of that motherfucker as well. So back to the question, why women can't do as men? Because of my facts that I stated previously. She can't get that man out of her unless it's by a condom. Now, if you women want to not carry on DNA and carry on codes and carry on bonding and blood mixing and shit, then wear a condom. Put a condom on so that when that nigga leaves, he won't leave you with nothing behind. And when you meet your next man and you've been using condoms all your life, having sex, God damn it, I wouldn't even consider you a virgin.
Well, you should be using condoms regardless of who's leaving and who ain't leaving because there's too much stuff out here and there's too many opportunities to ruin your life. So wrap it up any old way. But don't tell me that women can't do it.
Wait,
That
wait, 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 can,
to
well,
me, the narrative is just always being women have to stay pure and men can do whatever the heck they want
see,
to do.
the problem is you taking this to the rights, women rights. This has nothing to do with women rights. We're discussing, can you
Oh,
wash off a
okay.
man that's ejaculated in you?
So
Yes or
then we
no?
agree. So then we agree. If the
I
woman is
will say
wearing,
we agree.
then we have an understanding that if the women are making sure that the men are wearing condoms, or if the woman is wearing a female
No
condom,
doubt
then
about it.
she can do whatever she want to do.
She could do no
She can
doubt
go
about
just
it.
as hard as
No
a
doubt.
man does
No doubt, because
without
there's no exactly.
without feeling
Now,
any kind of way.
No kind of way. Now the problem coming with that is emotional bonding, because when a woman have multiple men, it makes it more difficult for her to emotionally bond with that man as well. That
What?
causes a problem too. If I had to pick one or the other, I would rather for her to wear a condom than not to be able to emotionally bond with a man. Because again, when a woman is receiving sex from a man, she is breaking that innocence. So the more person, even with a condom, the more person you have sex with, the harder it is to make you be able to bond with that man.
Well, I mean, I don't know why that wouldn't be the same for a man, even though I understand you're saying that the woman is receiving. But to me, it goes both ways that when you have a partner, you are sharing yourself with another person, period. So the man is also making this a bond, an emotional
But
bond with the
see,
woman. And that
but
might be
but
what the problem is because men have been
what
told for so long, well, you can have multiple partners. And then now this man's mind is screwed up because he's been out there sowing his royal oats.
well
Now
see the
he's screwed
problem.
up and he can't make a good definitive decision because he's,
Okay,
spread himself so thin.
the problem is he not spreading himself thin. The problem is when a man have sex with multiple women, he is not emotionally bonding. He is not
Why do you think
physically
that?
bonding because it's natural. That's how nature works in a man. When a man bond with a woman, it's got a lot to do with the brain releasing of dopamines, right? So those dopamines that is released to a man during a sexual encounter is not as strong as the dopamine that's released with a woman having a sexual encounter. On top of that, also when that man is releasing that dopamine in his
That
brain,
say dopamine. Stop
hold on,
saying
hold on,
dopamine.
hold on, having sex. If he's not consciously committed to that woman, it's not going to make a difference one way or another who he
And I
fuck.
feel like that's the same way with women. I
But
feel like a
I
woman can
okay.
control I
How,
feel like a woman can control her mindset. A woman can control her emotions. If
no,
the
no.
woman knows what she's
Listen,
going
baby,
in there to
baby.
do, if the woman
It doesn't
understands
matter how
her
you
stance,
feel. Doesn't
what she
matter how
believes
you
in,
feel.
how she wants to
Doesn't
handle the
matter.
situation, then she
Doesn't
can walk
matter.
away just like a man
Because
can.
she cannot walk away. It doesn't
I don't
matter.
know why she can't.
Because I just explained to you the
No, you're
physiology
okay, but
makeup.
you're not taking into account the woman also has control. If she has mental control
It
over the
doesn't have
situation that she's walking into, then
it
she can
doesn't
walk
have
away
nothing to do
too.
with the woman control. Understand? It doesn't have nothing to do with a woman control. You're right. Some women can have sex and not emotionally be affected or physically or emotionally or spiritually. Some women can, but the average woman can't.
That's because the average woman is not making sure she is being intentional about this so-called average woman. If that woman cannot, it's only because she walked into the situation not being intentional about her actions. Because if I'm intentional about my actions, if I know this is only a physical encounter, then that's all it is when I walk away. If I want to
It's
say
not
I'm going
that's
to
all
open
it
myself
is.
up, then it's more than
That's
that.
your interpretation. That's your interpretation. Scientifically proven that is not true.
Who but
Due
you
to
can't
your
say science.
interpretation.
You might be able to use science to say the DNA, but you can't use science to say a woman is emotionally bonded and a man is not.
Yes, I
You
can.
can't use science
Yes,
to
it
say
can,
that.
because the same dopamines that's released in a man and in a woman during sexual encounters has been tested. A woman that's in love with her husband or her boyfriend, the dopamine that released is tremendously more compared. Hold on. It's equally released between a random encounter or with her husband. The dopamines that release are equally the same, unlike in a man. When a man have dopamines are released, it doesn't matter with his wife or with his woman. It still is going to be determined by his emotional connection to that woman that determine how much dopamine is released in that man. Basically, what I'm saying
Okay.
is,
Okay.
it's
So
no
again,
distinguish
what
between
you just proved
the
my
woman.
point. You just proved my point.
No, I
Based
haven't. I
on
said
you
there's no
just said
distinguishing.
based on the emotions, based on that man's emotions, that determines the level of dopamine. So just like for the woman, her
I
level of
said no,
emotions
no, no.
is
I
the
said no. I said
dopamine
hold on.
is
I said
released.
based on. I said based on. his emotional connection to that woman determines the amount of dopamine. Unlike in
so
a woman, it's not the
but that all
same.
you're saying is if that man has an emotional connection with 100 women,
Well,
then he is
a
emotionally
man
tied to those
chooses,
100 women.
but he chooses who he emotionally releases dopamines to. A woman
Okay.
don't have a choice. A woman don't have a choice.
I
The
disagree.
same
I
amount of
disagree.
dopamines, well, that doesn't matter because I'm talking scientific proof.
Well,
Scientifically
science
stating,
is only based on who
science
is
only
the
fit.
subject. Science is
Of
only based
course,
on who is the subject.
science only matters when it's affecting your argument.
No,
Science only
science
matters.
in truth, science only
But if
matters.
science was agreeing with
Science
what your
doesn't matter
argument is
if
saying,
we don't know who the subjects are.
if science was agreeing to with your logic, your position, then it would be fine. But being that that's not supporting your position, then now all of a sudden
Well,
it's
guess
going
what?
back to who
And
the
I have
person
my
is.
right to use
You
that
have the
argument
right for
or
anything.
disagree
You
with the
do.
argument. Yep.
But that argument doesn't work because you can't give me no scientific proof to counter what I just said.
I don't have to give you scientific
Yes,
proof.
you do.
When
But then
you
you giving
said
your emotion.
men's emotions, what all you had to say
I
was men's
said that
emotions determine the
because
dopamine,
I used the word
then
emotion.
okay.
Women, women and men.
That is to say a woman's dopamine and a man's dopamine can be the same based on their emotions. So you're
No,
saying that
that's
regardless
not
of
what
you're
I
saying
said. Hold
I'm
it. That's
going to
not what I
clarify.
said.
I'm going to
Okay,
clarify.
clarify.
You're saying that regardless of it's a random man or a husband, the same
In
level
what?
of
The woman
dopamine
or the
is
man?
released
The woman or the man?
for
Be
the woman.
specific.
You're
The woman
saying
or
the
the man?
same level of dopamine is released for the woman, whether it's a random dude or whether it's her husband. Her body don't know the difference. She's going to give out the same level of dopamine.
Yes.
And
Compared
for
to
the
what?
man,
The man.
okay, and for the man, it's based on his emotion,
No, I said it's
right?
based on his commitment and his emotions. That is a big distinguishing factor. I'm saying when a man has sex with a random woman that he just met on the first night and he got a wife, right? When he releases a dopamine, the wife is going to get the maximum release that a man can give. Being that when it comes to a stranger, he ain't releasing no dopamine but the minimum amount that's required to enjoy the encounter. So it is a
Well
big
then,
ass difference because
why
I'm
are
not at
men
risk.
so
I'm not at.
then why are
My
men so
point.
set on cheating with other women if it doesn't even release the same amount of dopamine?
Because they experience different women's different experience in the mindset. Pussy is the same. Generally speaking, it's wet, either dry, either hot, warm.
So the
General
man
pussy is the
is
same.
chasing what? So the man is chasing an experience.
The spirit, the spirit of conquering. Basically, that's why men cheat because of that spirit of conquering. It's conquering. Yeah. So it has
Is
nothing
that
to
an
do with
emotional
commitment.
is that emotional for a man to feel like they need to conquer? Is that emotional?
I think that's genetically inherent. There's just a genetic code that men inherit. And you don't understand it or get able to control it until later in life as a mature older man. Then you're able to recognize it and you can control it. But from 15 all the way up until your late 40s, it's very difficult to turn it off and turn it on.
And
Some
see,
men
I think that's a learned behavior. I think that's a learned behavior because it's at least Western civilization. I think that's a learned behavior because boys are taught from a young age that they have the freedom to do those things. So I think that's a learned behavior. And there's always nature versus nurture, but I think that's a learned behavior to say men have this inherent desire to conquer women and have sex
see
with multiple women.
I'm glad you said you think. Thank you for saying you think. Because you think doesn't change the fact of a man's nature. And
Well,
therefore a woman would never
mhm.
a woman doesn't understand. I'm being honest to you ladies. It's not that a man got a problem. It's not that a man can is out of control. A man have a spirit of conquer, right? So when he's
Okay.
in that position, he's naturally is gonna go towards his instinct. Just like an animal. Animal is
No.
hungry. You think an animal gonna pass up prey when he
But
hungry?
here's where I'm going to stomp on that argument because for that to be you're stating it like it's fact. You're stating it like all men.
It is
And
facts. It
and
is facts.
it's not only a fact until I can prove it wrong. And when I can prove it wrong, it's no longer a fact. Now, so
Where
what you're
you where
saying
you
is
can't prove it wrong, you can't prove it.
you're saying across all time, across all cultures, across all
Yeah,
countries,
yeah,
across
yeah,
all,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, all
that's
of
how
it,
men act.
all of it, all of it. And you can't discredit it by your feelings.
No,
I
this ain't
need
no feelings.
scientific,
This ain't no
cause
feelings.
well,
This ain't no
well,
feelings.
this
I'm
is
saying that it is no longer a fact when it can be disproven. And unless you could say that's
disprove
all
it,
men across
disprove it,
all time,
disprove
across
it.
the whole
I say
globe,
all men's, yes, yes, all men's, yes, disprove it.
as soon as a man keeps his dingling in his pants from a young age, is disproven because that means he has control.
No, that doesn't mean he got control, and that have not to prove it, disproven it. Give me another example, please.
That does disprove it. And
No, it
unless all
doesn't.
men are out here humping everything, that's not a truth.
They
That's not a fact.
is. We are. We
No.
are. Yeah. Yeah, we are.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Not if they
Yeah,
are
they are.
learned better than that.
Well, again, I said when a man get mature enough, past his mid-40s, then he begin to realize and think
No.
different. But up until
And what
then,
I'm saying
no,
is that's a
no.
learned behavior from the jump. I'm
It's not
saying
a
that's
learned
a learned
behavior.
behavior
You
from the
don't
jump.
let me ask you something. Do you have to teach a baby to lie? Do you have to teach a baby to tell a lie
No.
at 1 years old when they able to speak? Why is that?
No.
Why is that?
You're trying to
Why
make a
can't you teach a
correlation that's
baby?
not gonna stick.
I'm asking
Because if
you,
that's
can you
because
explain
what you're
why?
saying, because if that's the case, what you're
I'm
saying is
asking you,
little boys in
why
Pampers
don't
would be
you
trying
have,
to hump stuff.
why, they do. Why you don't have to teach a little crumb snatcher to lie?
You don't have to teach a little crumb snatcher to not put his dingling and everything because that's a learned behavior.
I tell you what,
That's a
if you
pass.
can't,
Boys have been
look,
given a pass
look,
to be that
look,
way. That is not how
look,
they are
look,
created.
look, if you can't dispel or
I did.
discredit why
I
you can't
did.
teach a baby to
I
lie,
already
then
did.
trust me, you
No,
cannot
because
never
no,
discredit the
you're
fact
literally
that a man
comparing
gonna be
apples
a
to
man.
oranges. You're
That
comparing
is not
apples to
apples or oranges.
oranges.
Those are the
That's
same
trash.
natures, the same,
That's
that's the
trash.
same
That's not.
characteristic trait that a man have from birth.
That's
It's
your
grown.
westernized opinion of men.
No, that's not a westernized opinion of men. Hey,
Yes, it
audience,
is.
look here. This has been a good one here, you all. So what I'm going to invite you all to do is please comment, pick a side, choose a side, cross the line, and that's how you become part of the family, you all. Hey, thank you all for listening, following. Hey, Doctor, what your last words is for the day?
I'm doing my best not to take it personal, but what I got own your bodies, women. Make smart decisions with your body, women. And for my gentlemen, own your bodies, gentlemen. Make smart decisions. I don't know why that word can't come out my mouth. Make smart decisions with your body, gentlemen. Okay? Everybody, take good care of your body.
Thank you all again, man. Hey, subscribe, follow, and make a comment. Thank you all.